to Bad Larry.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Bad Larry channel. I'm your host, Bad Larry, and today we're checking out the new release of X-Men number 5, brought to you by Jed MacKay and Ryan Stegman. But before we get into this issue, let's rate that cover! I rated this issue at 90%, barely an A. The main appeal of this cover are the colors. It is visually appealing. It grabs my attention, and that is the point. Comics must now compete in both physical and digital spaces, so having an extremely colorful cover is a must to compete in the marketplace. Here's the problem though. Once you understand that most of these comics are drawn digitally now, some of the art seems half-assed. Let's take Psylocke's sword for example. It doesn't look like a sword, it looks like a long piece of pink poo-poo or a long French baguette. And no feet on Psylocke? Why, when you can hide them in the environment? Not having any straight lines makes it easier for the artist and faster. The same with her eyes. If she's doing her powers, Stegman doesn't have to draw the eye details. There's an illusion of a lot of detail, but it's mostly just gobbledygook with pretty colors. A lot of comic artist drawing techniques that make me feel this cover was rushed. Out in the solitude and beauty of the Alaskan wilderness, it looks like we are catching up with the Psylocke and John Greycrow in the Shaggin' Shack. Why would Psylocke stoop so low to knock boots with the lights of this piece of crap marauder? But hey, I guess she has her needs, and who at the base is gonna fulfill them? Glob the Jello Man? Old Balls Magneto? Blue Balls Beast? Nah, and because John Greycrow is a tribal man, it makes sense for him to be hiding out in the solitude of Alaska. But who is John Greycrow? I do like that Jed MacKay likes to bring in as many old school underutilized characters into his story. Well, John Greycrow is a mutant. His powers are techno-formation, similar to Forge. He takes metal and machines and makes what he wants with them. And then he has a healing factor like the Wolverine. So he is actually really old. It said he served in World War II. So he ages slowly. He goes by the code name Scalp Hunter. And he is typically a big piece of shit. Even though he is a mutant, he hates mutants and likes to hunt down and kill them with his other fellow marauders. He's been cloned many times by Mr. Sinister. He has a kill switch in his head that Mr. Sinister can push at any time, killing him, then just replace him with the clone. So his life super sucks. Other than right now, when he gets to hit the sheets with Psylocke here. The point of this tryst is to connect both Scalp Hunter and Psylocke as being just mere weapons used by others. Mutant pew-pews that have little value other than killing. But Psylocke really is more valuable. She is a weapon as a pro ninja and a psychic. And she accepts her purpose on the X-Men team. Scalp Hunter, not so much, which is why he just lounges in his bed. Not only does he feel purposeless, he lives a super long life because of his slow aging due to his mutant healing factor. So like I said previously, Scalp Hunter's life kinda sucks, and good, because he's a big turd. Anyway, Psylocke makes it back to the X-Men base and meets up with the ever-annoying Quentin Quire. They have a psychic rescue they plan on tag teaming. Cyclops gives them the directive. Get into Ben Liu's mind. Remember, this is the mutant the X-Men rescued back in issue number 2. Try and get him to wake up and try to find out how his X gene was activated so late in life. Quentin Quire tries to play coy, saying, he hates doing these mind missions with Psylocke. But Psylocke is a psychic too and knows that Quentin is lying. Quentin clearly likes getting in these freaky mind scenarios with Psylocke. Maybe because he can hold a girl ninja's hand, little freaky boy. Psylocke and Quentin Quire are in Ben Liu's mind, but they have landed in sort of a mind lobby. Nothing useful here. Psylocke knows they need to go deeper, that's what she said, into his psyche, which typically means more danger to the psychics. They find out Ben Liu is a businessman, or was a businessman, and while he was driving down the road one day, he gets abducted alien style. This is why in issue number 2 he kept projecting aliens. His subconscious psyche was trying to tell everyone what happened to him as well as protect him. But because his X gene was activated late in life and it looks like by force, he couldn't manage the power or what happened to him. His mind is somewhat shattered. Beep bop, let the probing commence. I mean, isn't this everyone's fear of an alien abduction? Clothes ripped off, all naked and exposed, robot arms and tentacles all over your body. You're powerless to do anything. Your eyes are forced open. Something is forced down your throat. No, Diddy. Someone call the police. Special Victims Unit. This man needs one of those kits, if you know what I mean. Psylocke and Quentin encounter like a psychic firewall. Even though they are in a memory, this mysterious bald-headed character has placed some psychic security to try and prevent anyone from doing exactly what our X-Men are doing, digging into Ben's mind looking for clues. Well, here we and our psychic duo find out the organization behind Ben's abduction and violation is called 3K. The firewall is like an episode of Fear Factor. Hope you're not afraid of drowning in a bunch of bugs. Out of the ether, an enormous arm and hand grabs Quentin's face. He seems to know who his attacker is. This is my favorite art page of the issue. Sabretooth looks badass, huge, and terrifying. Even though these simulacrums are not real in the astral plane or psychic realm, the effects are still felt, hence the blood coming from the eyes of both Quentin and Psylocke, their physical bodies reacting, which is why these psychic retrievals are no joke. They are still dangerous. Whomever left these psychic firewall remnants must be extremely powerful, or their program is very powerful, as it is able to find the greatest fear or weakness and use that to overpower the psychic invaders. Here we see Sabretooth threatening to take off Quentin's head again, which he did previously in Wolverine number 45. I've included that image for y'all. Sabretooth apparently walked around with Quentin's severed head in this lantern type device, using it as some sort of navigational tool. Sick! The thought of having that happen to Quentin again must be terrifying, which is why all the blood. This simulacrum doesn't threaten Psylocke with violence against her, but unveils a future for her that will end in her ending herself. The weapon no longer of use, no purpose in life, alone and discarded. This seems to be Psylocke's fear, not necessarily dying in battle. I feel like this story ends too abruptly. There's only one page of them suffering in Ben's mind. I feel they could have gone through a bit more of an ordeal, but Jed MacKay does answer the question of why there are two psychics on the team. Maybe this issue was constructed for this sole purpose, to answer that question. Why both Quentin and Psylocke are on the team? Well, Quentin is powerful enough to overcome the simulacrum psychic program, but he is actually too powerful. If he fully lets loose, he would kill Ben and possibly themselves, so he needs the pro level of Psylocke to surgically and methodically get them out, both out of Ben's mind, which they do. So Quentin is like the psychic bazooka, and Psylocke is like the psychic surgical blade. Both Quentin and Psylocke are messed up from their mission, but the mission was a total success. Ben is now awake, which we don't get to see. Lame. The X-Men learn the organization activating the X gene is called 3K, and the main concern is that Cassandra Nova, the sister of Professor X, a badass scary villain psychic, is part of 3K. One quick gripe on this page: why is Beast and Cyclops standing like that? It is so awkward with their feet so close together. It seems unnatural. It's so awkward. Beast looks like he really is clenching those cheeks hard. Maybe he needs to go number 2. We get a sneak peek at the cover of the next issue, and you can all tell I'm going to have an issue with the feet, or lack of, on this cover. But hey, we're going to have to wait for that one till October 23rd. So hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for my next episode of the Inferno series. Thanks so much for the support. Be good to one another. And if you donate stuff to North Carolina, do it through a church and not FEMA or the Red Cross. They'll steal your shit. Peace.